do, Bing Crew? It's your boy Savon Thomas back with another episode of Coffee and Comments. Hopefully you guys are liking the new intro video and things. Change it up a little bit. We're now, I guess you call it season 2. We're revamped. We're excited. And we're going to start off strong. We're going to start off with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Every night, I dream the same dream. And then... the nightmare begins.
This is a reaction, really. I guess I'll give my review of the movie as well. But for me, this is not like my favorite thing to review. Like mainstream movies, big movies like this, I enjoy watching them, but reviewing them, I feel like everybody has a review, everybody has a comment, everybody has a theory, especially Marvel movies with all of these, like, I don't call them internet nerds, but all these different people that have their, their knowledge of the lore and the comics. Everybody has an opinion on those. So I'm like, I like watching the movies. I really don't like putting out reviews just because everybody does. And I'm not the type of person who does what everybody does. I like to have my own little niche lane of like watching kind of some mainstream stuff, but then also like stuff you might just find on Netflix as like a gem, or like on an HBO Max or some type of streaming service, or just something I watch that most people haven't seen, or maybe they have seen that they want to remember. I like stuff like that. Like I like to review that stuff. So this is a review of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. You can call it Doctor Strange 2. That's actually what I call it myself. But Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And so this movie just I won't say recaps, but it just restarts, after everything has happened with the Avengers and Spider-Man, and you kind of see like, Doctor Strange is just living his life, so to speak. Like the woman he loved is getting married in the very beginning, and the result of the movie is just him meeting America Chavez, who is this like, I don't know, multi-dimensional being that she can transport through universes, and then him having to protect her from Wanda, because Wanda wants to use her to get to her kids. That's basically the entire movie, and I just spoiled it for you. But overall, it's a good movie. So I watched this, and I will say it was a good movie. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, the cinematography, the acting, everything was awesome. But it was a disappointment, only in that I expected something different than what I got. Like, I thought him and Wanda would be, like, working together and, like, going through the dimensions, and somehow, like, things are tying into the different shows that I've seen, like WandaVision and Loki. But he didn't do that at all. Like, it's basically, it was just like, we're going to use Wanda as a villain. Or I shouldn't say Wanda, Scarlet Witch. We're going to use her as the villain of this movie and introduce a new character. And I feel like that's what they're doing with all the movies. They're just introducing new characters to kind of switch things around and get like a new, fresh group for Phase 4 going into what they're doing. And so it's very interesting to see these different, like, movies. Like, because I'm not the biggest Marvel guy. You guys know that already. For anybody that doesn't know, it's the first time watching this. I'm not the Marvel guy, right? But I enjoy the movie just because it's entertaining. Like, it's very entertaining. I like Doctor Strange, but this movie just, I don't know, it just wasn't. I was disappointed. I liked it, but I was disappointed because it just didn't tie in what I was hoping that it would tie in. But it's also, that's how Marvel does. They're a slow burn to a good finish. Like, if you look at all the Avengers movies, like, some of those movies weren't the greatest, but they were necessary to get to the ending with Infinity War and Endgame that was phenomenal, right? So I look at this and I'm like, man, I wish it would tie into more of what I've seen with these other shows on Disney Plus and other movies starting like to kind of converge together. But I understand, they're going to take their time. There's going to be 10, 15 movies, similar to like what we saw previously, for there to get to like the multiversal war and Kang the Conqueror and all this other stuff. Benedict Cumberbatch does a great job always. Elizabeth Olsen does a great job. This new girl, Xochitl, I think it's how you say her last name, Gomez, I think is her name. I might be butchering that, but she plays America Chavez. She's going to be an integral part of, I'm sure, Marvel moving forward, since they introduced her. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I feel like this movie, I want to call it a throwaway movie because it was important, but I feel like when we look back on all the movies that happen in the future, this one will probably be like, I don't want to say forgotten, but it's not gonna be like the most memorable movie. Like man, that was a movie that that made it, right? It's gonna be, anyways. You know what I'm thinking. So that's, our review is pretty quick. If you want like an in-depth like thoughts and like here's all the stuff that ties together and the Easter eggs, you can go somewhere else for that. I'm just a guy who likes movies. That's gonna give my commentary. Thanks for tuning in to the episode of Golfing Comments.
Nothing to lose, I was starving from the start. Me, not the same cat driving Jaguars.